Hey everyone, I'm walking here, not in Amsterdam, but underneath the trees where I'm from. It has a reason I will tell you later. But another thing I want to talk about is that I am running out of ideas I can do at the moment. I had a lot of things that I wanted to go to and work on at that place, but there is still some restrictions going on, there's still some peaks going on, so it's not really the best idea to go to, for example, a big city like Amsterdam, where, you know, there's a chance that even with a mask you get severely sick. So if you have any questions or ideas, please put them in the comments. I would love to explore a bit more about things that you would like to know about. I am not in Amsterdam. In fact, I'm in my well-known forest. I'm in 90% of the time. The reason that I'm not in Amsterdam, even though I will be talking about Amsterdam, is because it was not very useful to go to the big city. The thing that I want to talk about, I cannot show you. You have to be a contractor or be in the field if you really want to go there and see it for yourself. So there will be pictures, but I could not make them. But did you know that below the big city of Amsterdam, one of the two capital cities in the Netherlands, there is a jungle of wooden, concrete and steel piles. For example, the Paleis op de Dam Square, so the Dam Square, has a total number of 13,659 piles in the ground. And it's very important that you know this. Contractors know this by heart. Why? Because if something is wrong with any of those, the square will sag and everything is in danger. The subsoil of Amsterdam is remarkably weak. It is very weird that Amsterdam is where it actually is, because it was a peat swamp. And this has the result that the soil is basically some watery sludge with organic roots in it. And when the water gets out of this peat package, so there's water seeping out of that, the ground subsides, meaning that everything that's on top of it will sag as well, which can be a problem when the house is on one part that is subsiding and the other part is not. This swampy soil has been a problem for homeowners, builders, contractors for centuries. Around 1200, the first people in Amsterdam lived on these peat soils, and if the buildings are still there, they are not really straight up, they are really saggy. These old sagging houses are called the dancing houses, and they're actually an attraction in Amsterdam. If you are on a boat in the canal, or if you walk past them, you can see them. It's really interesting because they're really cute, but construction wise it's not that good. And in order to keep everything healthy, the ground has to be raised from time to time, but it's not always possible to do that. It took a while for people actually to realize that they could use wooden piles to make the ground more sturdy so they can build the houses on it. One of the things that differentiates the peat swamp from other peat swamps that is now Amsterdam is that there are sand layers beneath the peat swamp, and those are sturdy, those are a nice foundation. So if you put a 20-meter wooden pile on that sandbank, you have a stern foundation. But how would you do that? It's a 20-meter wooden pile. Well, they do it still according to the old-fashioned method. They use a steel pile driver that is basically a 1500 kilogram hammer to pound in this large pile into the ground. If you wanted to recreate Amsterdam somewhere else in the same kind of like peat swamp with same sand layers, it would be incredibly insane. You're basically walking on jelly. Why Amsterdam people did this? It's beyond the current geologists, but it's there. It's actually quite a monument on itself. So if you go to Amsterdam, if you go to the Netherlands, you know, you can go to the popular places, but you can also just enjoy the fact that Amsterdam itself is unique. What makes it even more unique is that not only the houses are on piles at the moment, in the Amsterdam Vondelpark, even the trees are there on wooden piles, on platforms. People notice that trees that would normally like survive hundreds of years could not survive long in the Vondelpark. And that's because of their weight when they grew, the trees would sag into the ground, their roots would touch the groundwater like permanently, and that would be bad for the trees, so they died. So that's why newly planted trees are on a platform of 4x4, and that platform stands on 9 wooden piles into the ground. So in the past, all the piles were made out of wood. It's not always the best case. There are some disadvantages if you make things out of wood, especially in the wet soil that is the peat swamp. One of the disadvantages of using wood in a peat swamp is when the water level lowers. For example, people using the groundwater, drought, all that kind of stuff. There is some rot in the woods. It's called a pile pest. Yeah, wood rots after it's been exposed to water and then exposed to air again. It's not really great. So nowadays most piles are used out of steel and concrete and some reinforcement. To get the steel piles into the ground, grout is used as a sort of lubrication, and also it makes the ground a bit more sturdy for those steel things. And sometimes they even put in horizontal pipes, which they also fill with concrete and ferment, so it's even more sturdy for like the bigger buildings. So the trees I'm walking under right now could not survive in Amsterdam because they would just sag into the ground. But nowadays they just solve that by putting some wooden piles underneath. Okay, batteries is running low. See you another time. Nope. Did you know? Okay. Oh, are you okay? Concrete piles. Wah. 1, 2, 3. You don't want to work today, right? One of the famous buildings, Paleis op de Dam, that part itself has 13,000. Yeah. The more famous monuments in oh. Okay. What are you doing? Under the monument Paleis op de Dam itself, which was built in 1648. I knew that. I loosened up everything, right? Wait a second. It used to be a peat swamp. A peat swamp, yeah. Let's do that again because I got the hiccups. Okay. Finding higher ground is a bit soggy here. Talking about that. It has been raining for a while here in the Netherlands. Okay. If there are still wooden... Okay. It's raining. Why did I do this outside again? Because I love nature so much. I have not cursed this much in a long time. Like, today is not my day. But I'm gonna do it for you, dear viewers. I am very happy that I have this big amount of leaves above my head because it's starting to rain. Okay. Under the Paleis op de Dam, which is a monument that was built in 1648, there is a total number of 1600, 500 and no.